Alexis, and we're back with another statistics or probability problem with Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. So recently, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links actually released a new structure deck, which is Gagaga XYZ. So Gagaga XYZ structure deck was designed in order to let you familiarize with XYZ summoning mechanic newly introduced in Duel Links. So what I wanted to test right now and to see in the probability problem is that is it really a good structure deck? Does it give you a sense of being able to easily XYZ someone or exceed someone using the structure deck alone without any changes to it? So first off, I want to introduce the fact that Gagaga XYZ has a lot of monsters and also a few spell cards and trap cards. In actuality, it only has 4 trap cards, 3 spell cards, and 13 monster cards, plus the extra deck which is the Gagaga Cowboy. So when we look at that, we actually have here on the Konami site a list of recommended cards and example of combos, and we're going to tackle how easily we can get into these combos. So first, let's talk about which of these monsters can special summon itself and how do we special summon more than how can we special summon, because when you're doing Exceed, you want to have multiple normal monsters or effect monsters on the field that's the same level at the same time. So you can't just normal summon end your turn and hope that your opponent doesn't attack you. That doesn't really happen, does it? So first, let's look at deck alone when it comes to breaking. So what do I call breaking? So when you have a set of deck and during your first turn, you cannot normal summon anything, you cannot do anything to further achieve your goals when it comes to the deck, you essentially break. And for this one, actually there's 2 special cases for this one, because when you're going first, you can only break if you have spells and trap cards. So essentially, if you have on your hand blustering winds, memory loss, and let's say 2 copies of Copy Knight, you cannot summon anything or do anything during your turn. So you essentially break. So for this to happen, you only have to draw spells and trap cards. So the percentage of that will be 7 over 20 because there are 7 trap cards and spell cards times 6 over 19 times 5 over 18 times 4 over 17, or 3.6%. So essentially you will break 4 out of 100 of your games if you're using the structure deck without any changes. Now what if you go second turn? So what's funny enough, when you go second turn, you can actually use Gagaga Academy Emergency Network. So when you use Gagaga Academy Emergency Network, your chances actually increases of not being able to break. And you can essentially summon a monster because you do not have any controlled monsters and your opponent obviously should have. So essentially, this reduces from, if you go first to you're going second, from 3.6%, you only have a chance of breaking of 0.03%. So essentially, with this deck, you kind of want to go second because there's a lower chance that you will break when you have your hand. So go second when you're using this. And I will prove to you guys that you essentially need to go second almost all the time when it comes to this deck. Now, then let's go with the deck's promise of being a XYZ card structure deck that will help you get the hang of it. So in order to summon Gagaga Cowboy, you essentially need 2 level 4 monsters. And to do this, you have to notice that among all of the monsters on this deck, you actually have 10 of them that's level 4. So you have Subaba Bancho, Gagagoat, and you have Blindly Loyal Goblin, Field Commander Raz, Goblin Pothole Squad, and a lot of others that are level 4. So it's very easy to summon a level 4 monsters, but the problem is to summon 2 level 4 monsters at the same time at the same turn. So you can achieve that first just summoning any level 4 monsters and then using Copy Knight. So Copy Knight allows you to normal summon another copy of your monster card. So for this to happen, as I said a while ago, you have already 10 monster cards that are level 4, and you have 2 copies of Copy Knight copies. Anyways, so that will reduce you from you have a 50-50 chance to draw level 4, and then you have 2/19 chance to draw another Copy Knight. So essentially that percent is 5.26%. That's really high, especially for a structure deck, because I have been talking on this channel about structure decks before, and the percentage of those were really low. And for this one, you can you can have 2 level 4s on your deck at the same time with just a 5% goal. That's very high. For our second combo, you have to draw both Gagaga Mancer and Zubababa Gaga Goat. For that to happen, you essentially have to draw 1/20 times 1/19, because these are very specific cards, so you have to draw both of them at the same time. So you have 0.26% chance for that one. So remember that with the Copy Knight strategy, you have 5.26%. So essentially, if you go first, your chances of being able to summon Gagaga Cowboy or any level 4 Exceed monster that has only 2 level 4 materials needed, you have a whooping 5.52% chance of being able to summon it on your first turn. So 5.52 chance. What about if you go second? So if you go second, this actually changes a lot of the dynamics that you have, because essentially what makes it different is the fact that you can actually use Gagaga Academy. So Gagaga Academy allows you to special summon one Gagaga monster from your deck. So when you have Gagaga Academy, you have to have Subababa Gancho on your hand, and then the monster that you'll be summoning from your deck should be Gagaga Mancer. So the probability of this one is, first you have to be able to draw Subababa Banjo Gagaga, and then you have to draw Gagaga Academy, and then you have to make sure that Gagaga Mancer is in your hand. So in total, that brings us to around 0.219% in your second turn to be able to do this kind of play. So in general, when you have your second turn, you have 3 kinds of possibilities for your play. The first one is using the Copy Knight summoning mechanic. So you have a level 4 and then you summon another Copy Knight, and then you exceed summon to have Gagaga Cowboy. The second one is you have Zubaba Gaga Goat and you have Gagaga Mancer on your hand. So you just summon Mancer and then you can special summon Zubaba Gaga Goat. And the third one would be you have Gagaga Academy and you use it to special summon Gagaga Mancer from your deck, and then use Zubaba Gaga Gancho on your hand to special summon itself. And then you have 2 level 4 monsters on your hand. So in general, that percentage of that happening is around 0.219%, and for that third one, it's 0.219, and then you just add the previous one, which is 6.05. That will bring us to a total of 6.26% of being able to exceed someone on your second turn. So that's a really good thing, because out of your 100 battles, you can at least exceed someone on your second turn. When you go second, you can exceed someone immediately. And not a lot of structure decks that Duel Links and Konami is releasing is able to do that. And I think you can just praise the structure deck for what it allows you to do on its own, and you just have to remove some of the cards, especially the warrior types that aren't really relevant to the archetype. Remove it with Gagaga Magician Grill or Gagaga Child Kid, and you can just do as well with a Gagaga deck. I have been building a Gagaga deck as you have seen in some of the gameplay and have been losing badly because I haven't fine-tuned it, but if you want to see a deck profile of Gagaga monsters deck in Duel Links, just hit me up on the comments down below. And also, as I said, the probability of going second is higher, so if you're just using the structure deck, go second. Always go second. And if you're planning to use this structure deck to have a similar type of playstyle, it will be wiser to go second rather than go first because the probability of you bricking lessons. And that's all for today, and I hope you liked it. It's been a 2-week break, and right now